Hey up, it's Steve from Old Yorkshire Geek, and it's back commentary time, audio commentary. This time it's for the James Bond film Goldfinger, which we're covering on my Magnificent Mondays episode 85 for Easter Monday. The quintessential Bond film. I have no notes going into this because I'm just doing this on the fly. So we'll see how we go, won't we? I've got it paused. I don't know which version you're watching, the NTSC PAL. I'm watching the NTSC version. I do have the PAL Blu-rays and PAL DVDs, but I thought most people will have the NTSC version. They're a different frame rate, aren't they? Is NTSC 29-ish frames per second, and PAL's 24, isn't it? But anyway, so if you're watching a different one, if you start watching this commentary and playing along with a PAL thing, it'll go out of sync, won't it? But, which is stupid, yes, I know. But anyway, Goldfinger, the third James Bond film, although I think it was the seventh Bond book, or the seventh Bond book, or the fifth. I think it was seventh book, written in 1959. This film's from 1964. This is back when they used to bang a James Bond film out every year. But anyway, directed by Guy Hamilton, of course, starring Sean Connery, Bernard Lee, and Lois Maxwell, and Desmond Llewellyn as Q. Becomes proper Q in this film. And Gert Frobe as Goldfinger, hilariously lampooned in Austin Powers Goldmember. But that's for another time. Right, I've got it queued up. I'm on 5 seconds. You can see Leo the Lion in mid-raw. So if you want to watch along with me, do so. But I'm going to press play. I'm going to do a countdown and press play. So we're off in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. There we go. Oh, I forgot to lower it down. Hang on. There. Right, off we jolly well go. That's not Sean Connery. That's Bob Simmons. I think they would end up doing Sean Connery for the next film, Thunderball. That's the lead stuntman in the Bond films for many years. Bob Simmons, who was a tiny little fella, but ended up doing stunts, being a stunt double for like massive people, such as Richard Keel, who was like 7 feet tall. Anyway, so we begin with the. I think this is the first Bond film that has an opening sequence before the credits that has nothing at all to do with the rest of the film. We're supposed to be in Latin America, and you will see a seagull going across the water. Why did it just come from underneath the water? Why the seagull? I don't know, but anyway. Gadgets and cool stuff. I don't know where that rope came from. Kick to the face. Did he hurt himself then? Did a little skip, didn't he? Did Bond or whoever was... What is Sean Connery there? I don't know. This could be a double for all I know. I have no idea. This is kind of like a secret lair, isn't it? But with council light switches. I can't remember. Is it... oh, God, I forgot the bloody name of the set designer. I will see his name come up. I'm blanking. It looks like one of his sets because it's got a big round roof ceiling. It's on the tip of my tongue. We'll see it in the opening credits. Nitro, big red barrels. You could shoot them in a game. They blow up. He's got his putty explosive. I'm sure there's a technical term for it. But here we go. Look, takes his thing off. And a perfectly pristine white tuxedo with a red carnation. This young lady who's doing the belly dancing, we did see her in From Russia with Love. But she played a different character in that. She played the mistress of the other good guy in that. Don't ask me. I can't. I'm blanking on names today. I'm hopeless. Ken Adam, production designer. Ken Adam. That's the only connection to the rest of the story. Miami. Uh-oh. And this fella here, I mean, sees his reflection in her eyes. Good eyes, haven't he? Knocks her out, I'm guessing. But this is a stunt man. Don't ask me his name, I've forgotten. But the fellow that was cast to play this bad guy was a cat burglar and got arrested for cat burglaring the night before this scene was filmed. So the makeup department decided that this stuntman had high cheekbones, so he could pass for a Mexican. So they're guessing they're in Mexico, and he got badly burned here because of the steam. You see all the steam rising up. There were hoses and stuff shooting the steam out. They must have actually used hot steam. Why didn't they just use something that's not steam? It just looks like steam. I don't know. But anyway, he got badly burned. But he was fine, but it just burned. So you see the grimace. It was a genuine grimace. And then we cut to the opening sequence. Not Maurice Binder. This is Robert Brownjohn, who also did the opening sequence for From Russia with Love. But a lot of people think this is the quintessential, I'm going to say that word a lot today, opening sequence, but it's not by Maurice Binder. You see Bond's future adventures and past adventures projected onto Margaret Nolan, who we'll see in the film as somebody or other. I've forgotten the name of her character. Dink. She plays Dink. But she's frightfully voluptuous, I must admit. There's Shirley Eaton. Met her at a convention. Ken Adam, there we go. So, of course, the song by Shirley Bassey, sung by Shirley Bassey. Probably the greatest of all Bond songs. We all have our favourites, but this is the Bond song, isn't it, to be honest? The girl from Tiger Bay. That's Shirley Bassey, isn't it? Well, there's a scene from For Your Eyes Only, titled down by Robert Brownjohn. And after this, it would be Maurice Binder for all the films up until GoldenEye, when Daniel, I'm blanking again, would take over. And she holds this last note for a long time, doesn't she? Not as long as I thought. Welcome to Miami Beach. There's the Goodyear blimp. Um, again, this probably the first jet setting Bond. He goes all over the place in this film, doesn't he? Started off in Mexico or wherever. He was in Miami, then he goes to Fort Knox and Switzerland and. And there's Felix Leiter, played by Cess Linder, I'm thinking. They wanted Jack Lord to reprise his role from Doctor No, but apparently he wanted too much money, so they told him to bugger off. And so they got Cess Linder in as well, who plays the role completely differently to how Jack Lord did it. There's Margaret Nolan, or she was. There she is. There's Margaret Nolan, who we've just seen having pictures projected onto her. In this, she plays Dink. There we go. Wouldn't get away with that these days, would you? I think in the book here, I think he has a different name as Goldfinger first name, not Auric. I could be wrong. As I said, I've not read any of the Bond books. I'm sure somewhere. I haven't got notes. I should have notes, shouldn't I? I'm terrible. This is where we learn that Goldfinger cheats at everything, so he doesn't like to lose. So he cheats all the time at everything. They're just trying to make out that he's deaf, so he's got the hearing aid in. But little does Mr. Simmons know that he's getting info because he's got somebody watching Mr. Simmons' cards. It turns out to be um, Jill Masterson, played by Shirley Eaton. Anyway, here we go. She's showing how Bond is just so devil may care. He just grabs the key. She should call security, really, shouldn't she? Maybe she does, I don't know, but they don't get there in time, do they? Here we're going to meet Shirley Eaton. She's not in this film very long, but she makes an impression. It's one of the most famous, one of the most iconic um, sequences coming up a little bit later. So he can't hear now. So he's got to play normally, which means he's going to lose. We're going to meet Jill's sister later. I don't think Shirley Eaton's collars and cuffs match, do they? That's a line from Diamonds Are Forever, isn't it? Unfortunately, James Bond doing this is going to cost poor Jill her life. Spoilers. If you haven't seen this, you must have. Everybody's seen this, haven't they? And if you're watching this commentary or listening to this commentary without having seen the film first, what are you playing at? Go and watch the film. Call me James. We're gonna do it. Oh, all the best. They're not eating any of it by the looks of it. They're too busy getting down to business. President's entirely satisfied. Thank goodness for that. Which, of course, is LBJ at this point, isn't it? I'm not sure when Sean Connery started, having a hairpiece, wearing a hairpiece, but that looks very much like one, doesn't it? I could be wrong. I don't know, but I'm not an expert on champagne labels. A Moet? Oh, it's a Dom Perignon. There we go. James Bond's not hip with the kids, is he? Judo chop. Random task has just dealt with him. I'm going into all Austin Powers now. Of course, that was Odd Job, played by Harold Sakata. I'm probably getting these names wrong. I should have my notes. Where's my thingy? Right, I'll get my notes out. I love John Barry's incidental music. It's so good at it. So good at themes and stuff, but his incidental music's amazing. Atmospheric. There she is. There she is. The iconic scene. Coated from head to foot in gold paint. Sorry, that will make tablet coming on. Of course, this will be homaged in Quantum of Solace. When poor Strawberry Fields, Agent Strawberry Fields, gets covered in oil, doesn't she? Played by, oh, cracking, blanking on her name as well now. Oh, yeah. Anyway, yeah. Gemma Arterton. Gold paint, because he loves gold. London, England. Of course, that's nonsense. It's just making this stuff up. I don't know if that's in the book. I don't know. But anyway. I do apologise. My stomach is very gurgly. I ate a sandwich like an hour ago. It's still digesting. He got a black tie on. And there's Lois Maxwell as Moneypenny. And that fella at the head of the table, I will tell you his name momentarily. Just bear with me. Guess his age. Guess how old he is in real life at the time this was filmed. You'll get it wrong. Believe it or not, he's 39 years old at the time this film came out. Just bear with me. I'm just bringing up the info of the film. I'm going to double check it. I think I have checked it before, and I think it was 39 years old. Not much older than that Brandy. Or is it Sherry? My tablet's been super slow. It's getting on my nerves. My tablet's making stupid noises. Do apologise. Oh, shut up, tablet. Can't turn that off either. I don't think. Oh, wrong way. Shush. Right. What's up with this? Richard Vernon playing Smithers. That's who the 39-year-old chap is. I think he would go on to play Slarty Bartfast in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy TV series. I think. Have a press that. This tablet's doing my head in today. Here's Q, Desmond Llewellyn. He originally wanted to play this as though he was like in awe of James Bond. You know, he had huge respect for James Bond as one of the top agents. But Guy Hamilton, the director, told him, no, James Bond annoys the hell out of you. You have no respect for him because he has no respect for your equipment. Anyway, so yes, born in 1925. This came out in 1964. So yes, he was 39, 25, 35, 45, 55. Yes, he was 39 years old. Was Richard Vernon. Must have had a hard life. This is the first. Although I did have some gadgets in from Russia with Love. His briefcase, you know, had the knives and stuff that came out and all that stuff, and booby traps. Proper gadgets in this film, aren't Yes, he did play Richard Vernon. The previous, not Desmond Llewellyn, Richard Vernon did play Slarty Bartfast in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, who loved fjords, didn't he? Lovely crinkly edges. So see the Aston Martin DB5. Aston Martin were reticent to give one of their new cars to the producers to essentially chop up. Why didn't they just make a use a shell? Not an actual, they actually used an actual car and did chop it up essentially and add loads of gadgets. But whatever. There we go. Here we're at. Is this Black Park? Could be wrong. Right, you first. Oh, pardon me. I'll have to edit that out, won't I? Dear. Dun, dun, dun. Now then, let's have a look. It's Stoke Porges Golf Course. That's where it's filmed at. Where's Black Park then? I'm sure parts of it's been filmed in Black Park. Just bear with me. Oh, the chase. The car chase in the Swiss woods that we're coming up to later. And the exterior of Fort Knox. They essentially rebuilt Fort Knox in Black Park. Because obviously the real Fort Knox wouldn't allow you to do what they do in this film. They're Nazi gold. Am I allowed to say that? Don't know. But anyway, made him miss. Theodore Bickle originally auditioned for the role of Auric Goldfinger. But they went with Gert Frobe. Or is it Gert Frobe? I don't know. But unfortunately, he didn't speak, well, hardly any English. So they overdubbed him with an actor called Michael Collins. Strict rules of golf. So that's going to be his undoing. I used to like going playing golf. I've never played on an actual golf course. I've done the par 3 9 holes and that. But I've never actually played on a big golf. But I did enjoy it when I used to go. I wasn't any good at it, but I did enjoy it. Now then. Ah, that's his lines in this film. I think in the book, I think they're old pals, them two. As I said, I've not read the book, so I don't know. Just going what I've been told. They're on the last hole. By the way, the scenes that we see in this film in America, such as the Miami scenes and the Fort Knox scenes coming up, Sean Connery never actually travelled to America to film those scenes. Filmed them all at, in the studios at Pinewood. Hey, haha. I just wonder they don't kill this fella. They could cover him in gold, didn't it? Just takes it out on a statue and a golf ball. Does odd job. I'm guessing this statue that we see in the moment that gets decapitated with his hat. Um, I'm guessing he does it a lot. Ludicrous, isn't it? There we go. It's like the arms being reinforced. I bet he's knocked that head off many times. He's not like me, he's James Bond. I'd have been, oh, it don't matter about that money. Don't worry about it, mate. 'Cause that's what happened with me and my mate when we were playing. That's on the putting green, and I were a long way from the hole. And my mate says, I bet you a tenner, as in £10, you don't get that in. And I did. And I was like, no, don't worry about it. It doesn't matter. We're willing to pay the £10, but I'm terrible that way. Can't take people's money. Do you know, I'm a terrible businessman. Just keep giving things away. They originally wanted Orson Welles to play Auric Goldfinger, but they were too expensive. Oh, the near South End. Here we are in Switzerland. Right, where's this? Where's this Switzerland bits filmed? Oh, where have I put them? Is it that? There we go. Now then, Andermatt in Switzerland, where James Bond meets Tilly Masterson. Where else? The Rhone Glacier, where James Bond's driving the Aston Martin. So I'm guessing that's around the windy road, I imagine. Here we go. The Simplon Tunnel in the Lepontine Alps in Switzerland. There we go. And Rialp in Switzerland. Now that's Tilly Masterson, who is Jill's sister, played by Tanya Mallet. She doesn't have a big role in this film, to be completely honest. About the same as her sister, to be honest. Because spoilers, she comes to a sticky end as well, but not covered in gold. That's the dirt road, it looks like it, doesn't it? I don't think he's really in Switzerland there, do you? I've got the range on that. Q may have said, I don't know, but when he showed him it on the tracking device, he stands very close to the edge of this road here. I'm terrible with heights. I won't be able to stand there. I said, build a railing. Why is he smiling? Does he know what's going on? Why did nobody else react to it? Maybe they just think somebody's out hunting. I don't know. It's about as good a shot as I forgot her name as well. Marianne Darbo in Living Daylights. We see another gadget now, which were never actually installed on the DB5. The what do we call them? The wheel spike thing, like a Bodicea type thing, isn't it? Never actually installed on the actual car. This is all done on the stage, on the just smashed her face in on that steering wheel, wouldn't she? These are the days before airbags. Ian Fleming, by the way, passed away less than a month before this film's release in 1964. So we never saw this become the biggest Bond film um, ever at the time. It had a budget of $3 million, which is considerably more than the previous two films. It might be more than the previous two films combined. That's interesting. I didn't know. Bit weird though. Sean Connery was married to Diane Cilento at the time. Wore a flesh-coloured bandage, clearly seen in some production stills, over his wedding ring while filming. He thought he'd just taken it off, wouldn't he, just while he's filming his scenes? Maybe he thinks it's bad luck or something. The movie proved so popular that some theatres were holding showings 24 hours a day to meet demand. She reminds me of somebody, and I can't think who. Does Tanya Mallet? Is it Terry Farrell? She kind of reminds me of Terry Farrell, who played Jadzia Dax in Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Kind of looks a little bit like her, doesn't she? Is that who I'm thinking of? Maybe. I don't know. By the way, if you ever go to Central Europe, the Alps, go to places like that, like Switzerland, Liechtenstein, because I've been. The scenery is astonishingly amazing, especially on a nice day like that. We went to Liechtenstein for a day. Um, it was absolutely beautiful place. Apparently, this is Steven Spielberg's favourite Bond movie. So that's how he's smuggling the gold. Look, using his Rolls Royce. By the way, the Aston Martin, the DB5, it has some. They had some gadgets that we never see in the film for some bizarre reason. It had like on the bumpers, or what they call fenders in America. They had like these ramming things that came out. They extended um, front and back. James Bond, they had a weapons tray for James Bond that had a gun with a silencer and a throwing knife and stuff like that. It had a radio telephone inside the door, which we never used. Um, there were nail clusters that came out at some of the backlights, that were strewn across the road, to burst tyres. Um, what else was there? Had a thermos with a built-in hand grenade, which I actually saw James Bond in the lab, in Q's lab. We saw James Bond playing with that. And then another thing that's not listed here. What else was there? That might have been it. Want to kill him? Yeah, yeah. His sister. You kind of got to kill James. With your interference. This is in Black Park, isn't it? This, which is around, the Pinewood Studios. Yes, of course, this was the first James Bond film to have the song, the title song, sung in the opening credits. Because Doctor No didn't really have a title song, did it? Just had the music, didn't it? And From Russia with Love, the amazing song by for his bloody name now. Me and names. Anyway, whatever. We're only sung all the end credits for some weird reason. Well, apparently this is Tanya Malitz, who plays Tilly there. Her only major movie appearances in this film. So there we go. That car blew up easy, didn't it? By the way, the revolving number plates that we just saw there, not see it revolving, but that were Guy Hamilton, the director's idea, because he kept apparently kept getting parking tickets in London. He should just really watch where he's parking, shouldn't he? So he said he wanted to have a car with revolving number plates, so that's where they got the idea for that. Of course, in the 60s, a lot of the bad guys, for some reason, had East Asian henchmen, didn't they? Because I think this the height of, I can't remember. I'm not going to say it because I'll get into trouble. But when China was asserting itself as a world power with its nuclear tests and stuff like that, I could be wrong. And I probably am. That's all he says in the film. Ah, ah. By the way, in the song, the Goldfinger song, future Led Zeppelin guitarist Jimmy Page uh, played as a session musician in there. Oop, pardon me. My stomach's gurgling. This movie won the first Academy Award for a James Bond film. There we go. Hey, there's the ejector seat. Didn't go right high though, did it? Never mind. It did the trick. It's a cool sequence, but is James Bond an idiot? This is Alfred Hitchcock's favourite scene. Granny with the machine gun. She's amazing. Whee! But he easily gets bamboozled here. Does old James? Where's he going? That's right, Scooby Doo thing, that wasn't it? Here we go. Look, what's he doing? That he's just playing chicken. Thinks it's another car. Can't you tell the difference, James? Just stop the car, mate. You got brakes. You don't need to run it into the wall. That one, that I didn't like that. Anyway, whatever. Apparently, Sylvia Trench, remember James Bond's girlfriend from Doctor No and from Russia with Love, was supposed to be in this, but Guy Hamilton didn't want her in it. Apparently, I don't know if he had something against the character or the actress. I don't know, but we don't see her again, do we? I think in the book and in the original script, rather than what we're going to say a laser here, the famous scene, it was actually a circular saw. I thought we'll go for a laser because that's futuristic and cool. By the way, this is one of the shorter James Bond films, 1 hour 50 minutes. Doctor No are also round about that. But the shortest James Bond film is Quantum of Solace, 1 hour 46 minutes, which is, I think, Quantum of Solace is one of those Bond films that's underappreciated. I like Quantum of Solace, but the song, the title song, is bloody awful. It's now speculated that Goldfinger was based on a German spy who, amongst other things, once tried to rob the Bank of England during World War One. The story has only recently come to light, but Ian Fleming was a fairly high-ranking officer in naval intelligence and would have had access to the records. Remember, he helped found essentially the what is it? The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Cool film, and Ian Fleming is a character in that film. I think Burt Cook, I think, is in the. Is he? There he is. There's Burt Cook. Is that how you pronounce it, or is it Quok? I don't know how you pronounce it. A famous British. He always played Asian. He's a British actor who was the go-to East Asian person. Of course, he would play Kato. Is it Kato in the Pink Panther films? He also did the intro voiceover for stuff like the Water Margin TV series, which I used to love that as a kid. I haven't seen it for years. I'm waffling. In the original novel, James Bond drove a DB3, so there you go. You're getting worried, James? I would be. It does look like a hairpiece, doesn't it? A lucky escape for James Bond. That stuff works quick, doesn't it? I didn't note, did I? I just totally glossed over the most famous lines in the film. No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die. But anyway, Pussy Galore, here she is. The late great Honor Blackman, obviously rose to fame at first being in the Avengers, the original, not not Marvel's Avengers, the TV series Avengers, with Patrick McNee. And then another Bond girl, in a few films' time, would be from Avengers. We'd have Diana Rigg, who played Emma Peel. I'm blanking on who Honor Blackman played. It was before my time, so, but anyway. Here she is, as Pussy Galore. They wanted to change the name to Kitty, because of obviously they want to make it kid-friendly, but they decided, no, we'll stick with Pussy. And Honor Blackman, in interviews, delighted in embarrassing interviewers by saying the name as often as possible because she was naughty. And I think she was genuinely madly in love with Sean Connery. She seemed to be. She said he was a great kisser and one of the sexiest men alive. I think that was the first time James Bond actually said vodka martini shaken, not stirred. Splendid. Look at him. Checking out the totty. I'll say it. That's what he's thinking. Look, he's testing things out. Obviously means nothing to her. She's not immune though, is she? Because she succumbs to his Bondian wiles. That's a real plane. Obviously not. They would reuse that model later on for the plane at the end of the film. He asks about his attaché case in a minute here. There we go, his attaché case. I wonder if that's the same type of attaché case he had in From Russia With Love, with the gold sovereigns in and throwing knives and booby traps and all that stuff in. I don't know. I've just noticed Sydney there doesn't have blonde hair. I think every other one of her flying girl people all have blonde hair. We'll probably notice now that they don't, but I got that impression. Here he is now. So plugged up that gap, but there's another hole. She's worse than Norman Bates. But luckily they don't hide them very well, do they? But there's another peephole for it. I think there is. Oh, look, what's he got in there? What's that? Oh, that's to go in his shoe, isn't it? Why don't you just put it in his shoe to start with? I'm just going to put it in his shoe now. Luckily, she's not spying on him right now. I don't think. No, she didn't. At least she is. She didn't notice. Foreshadowing for the end of the film. Not in outer space, they're in the sky. Don't get to outer space until Moonraker. It's very helpful, isn't it? What would she have done if he wasn't there? I suppose she'd have struggled, but managed. Here's Pussy Galah's flying circus, or whatever she calls it. Sean Connery never went to America, so all these are in the UK. All these shots. Sean Connery never filmed any of his parts in America. In the wide shots, I think they're all male pilots with blonde wigs on. And steady on, he puts his eye out with those, love. It's the Kentucky Derby. Come on, John. I'm talking about John Barry. And it's got, does he have to do the bang, 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 bang? Of course, it's called Auric Goldfinger, and coincidentally, AU is the atomic symbol for gold. Is that a coincidence? Get in there and I'll hit you with me hat. I hope it don't rain. It'll get wet, won't it? Rain will come running down through that window. See, they're tracking him through his shoe. He's at KFC, look. They spent quite some time at that KFC. The mobsters who have got Goldfinger's clobber into the country. Stereotypes much. Right. I do apologise. My microphone turned off for some weird reason, and I didn't notice, so I don't know. There's a gap of some time. I hope the first half of this audio commentary has recorded. Well, has saved, but we'll see, won't we? Anyway, whatever. We'll. Right, let's try again. Okay, there we go. Having problems. I think it's me microphone. I think it just ran out of charge because it's a wireless microphone. There's always something, isn't there? So I do apologise for the gaps. I can't do anything about it. So anyway, so I will charge up this other. Luckily, they're coming packs of two. So hopefully this one that I'm wearing now is charged up enough to get to the end of the blooming film. Oh dear. James Bond being a silly Billy. Of course, this is Bond's attempt to escape. wonder if they use that in Close Encounters. Who knows? Sorry, I was just checking my microphone then, making sure we were still going. Don Bond taking. Where did he get that pencil from? No idea. Maybe he had it in his pocket. And the paper. They related to Han Solo or Napoleon Solo. Pushy. See, it's a double cross. But Mr. Solo thinks he's double crossed him, doesn't he? He thinks he's safe. Because it's actually a deadly nerve gas, not just unconsciousness for 24 hours, I think. Pressing engagement. Nobody knows, he just made a funny. Actually, no, he's not in cahoots, is it? I thought he were in cahoots, but he doesn't know what's happened to the others, does he? some KFC. There's Felix. I think it was Felix Light, wasn't it? I don't pay much attention, to be honest. Joe's driving. I wonder what Amazon will do with the James Bond franchise now that they have creative control of it. Do you think they'll ruin it? Or will they make it even better? Who knows? I don't know how they can make it better than stuff like this, but we will see, won't we? We will see. Uh-oh. I've seen this film loads of times, and I'd completely forgotten that he shoots him. I thought he just got out of the car, and he ended up in the compact. I thought they crushed him alive. Tell you. Even if you see films loads of times, sometimes you remember things differently, don't you? That's the essence of the Mandela effect. Remembering things wrong. So does Oddjob get a taxi back? Did they know, the fellow that's operating? Did they know that he were coming? Are they in on it? Probably. Does Goldfinger own this scrapyard or breaker's yard, whatever you want to call it? Who knows? Is it the same one that Superman fights himself in Superman 3? It should have shown. They should have put a fake body in, shouldn't they, of Solo, and shown it all bursting with blood coming flying out everywhere. That's just me being gruesome. Is this? Yes, it is. I'm just checking. The microphone's still going. Is it still on? Yes, you are. But I'm paranoid now that this other microphone's not going to last till the end of the film. How far have we got to go? About half an hour. I think we'll be fine. I hope. I'm just hoping the first half saved. Oh no, that's how he gets back. He's in the pickup truck, isn't he? His Oddjob. There we go, taking the cube that's left of Mr. Solo and the car, of course. They're having mint juleps. Suggesting there that Goldfinger's interested in Ms. Galore, but she's not interested in him. A suggestion that Pussy Galore preferred the ladies rather than the men. But I'm guessing James Bond changed her mind on that. They've got plenty of guards on him now. He can order anything, can't he? James Bond. Technically, it's a repository, not a bank. Until 2022. By the way, this movie was the fastest grossing movie in movie history when it was released and was entered into the Guinness Book of World Records. There you go. Another scene that we couldn't do today. It's fine. She really wants to. She's just play acting that she doesn't want to. Well, we're going to see the male pilots in blonde wigs. Is there a filter over that to make the sky look darker? I don't know. Oh, weird, isn't it? For some reason, these pilots remind me of the angels from Captain Scarlet. No, yeah, Captain Scarlet. It's just me. Anyway, they're supposed to, when they fly over Fort Knox, which we're going to see shortly, they were told by the American authorities to fly at 3,000 feet over Fort Knox. But Guy Hamilton, the director, thought that was hopeless and told them to fly at 500 feet. And obviously, they got into trouble. The American authorities got little bit cross about that. There you go. It's supposed to be 3,000 feet. Well, that could actually be flying over the, because they did build part, they did recreate it, at Pinewood, didn't they? I'll just fall down. Remember now, Pussy and her girls think that they're just going to be knocked out for 24 hours and that they're all going to be fine. But I think James Bond's told her that, it's actually lethal nerve gas. So, spoilers, it's been swapped out and, the authorities know somehow. I think Pussy Galore told them, didn't she? But I could be wrong. I could be misremembering again. Because I'm a hopeless case. Ah. Couldn't you say anything else? So did what? Spoilers. It's been, we learn later on that they're not all, they're just pretending to be unconscious. So did they set up that car accident just so these could see it and think, everything were going as planned? I know it's for the audiences, and that. Here we are at Fort Knox, but it's actually in Black Park. Well, outside Pinewood, isn't it? At the studios in England, not in Fort Knox, not in Kentucky. Auric spectrometer. What the hell's one of them? Not even bothering being in disguise, these fellas, look. Kaboom! Depository. Is there a difference between a depository and a repository? I'm not going to mention suppository. Yeah, that's the laser, isn't it, that we saw that we're going to cut James Bond in two. So he didn't just have it just for fun. It's actually part of the story. Look, it was part of what we were going to get inside with. Why don't they just dynamite these doors as well? But never mind. Do like a cool laser beam though in films. So there's no people inside, is there? I don't know because I can't remember what happens next. How many times have I seen this film and I'm wondering what's going on? This Goldfinger arriving. Is this how actual atomic devices work? I have no idea. Obviously, the inside of Fort Knox, they wouldn't let the producers or Ken Adam or anybody inside. So he basically I think he just made it up. But I think the people that worked there were actually impressed with what he came up with. See, look, they're all fine. Look, Is there generally no people inside Fort Knox? I'm guessing not. Gold. Remember, he's not going to steal it, he's going to irradiate it and thus make his own gold that he's got even more valuable. A cool set. It is a cool Ken Adams set. Several stories high. Oh, it's all kicking off now. By the way, the KFC that we saw were at 701 Northwest 190th Street, Miami. So it wasn't actually in Kentucky. It's weird. Now Bond has got to get the key so we can get rid of them cuffs and turn off this bomb. I wonder if that's had somebody going whoosh for that sound effect. It sounded like it, didn't it? Again. I bet that hurt. Well, it would if it were real gold, wouldn't it? Just keep running round the corners. People are just dropping. Sean Connery hurt his back in this fight quite seriously, and I think they have to stop filming for a while. Um, where have I seen it now? Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, Sean Connery is back during the fight sequence with Harold Sakata in Fort Knox. The incident delayed filming, as some say that Sean Connery used the injury to get a better deal out of the producers for the next film. And Harold Sakata actually burned himself doing that because he held on. Some of the sparks and stuff and flames burnt him. But he kept holding on because Guy Hamilton didn't call cut. Come on, James, put your back into it. I can't exert it, haven't I? Ah, squish these poor Chinamen. Squish. Another split diopter there. And there. If there was, it was a very good one. Now then, he doesn't know what to do now. Can I just stop it by holding it? Luckily, I think is it Felix Leiter who turns it off or somebody else? I can't remember. But originally, the original plan, wait for it to stop on 3:03, the countdown, which were in the script. But they decided to stop it. We're nearly there. Look, decided to stop it on 007 for obvious reasons. No, it's not Felix Leiter. Somebody there we go. 007. But yeah, in the dialogue, there you go. 3 more ticks. So it's originally supposed to stop at 3 instead of 7. There you go. James sorted it out, didn't he? But it's not over yet. Remember, Goldfinger's got away. I think this is the same model jet that well Goldfinger's jet that we saw earlier on there. We got this model, literal model, but they just repainted it. Uh-oh. He's got a golden gun. They'd make a film about that. Wouldn't they? Go back. With a wink. Come on, pussy. Get a level. She's a heck of a pilot. Pussy. Straight down. Oh dear. Whee. Do you think they've bailed out? Did it crash into the sea or into a lake? I don't know whether it's supposed to be Kentucky. Yeah, it's like in the middle of America, isn't it? Nowhere near the sea, if I recall correctly. Apparently, this is the only one of Sean Connery's Eon production films. I can't remember, but Never Say Never Again. The only of the Eon production Bond film that Sean Connery did, where it doesn't end with Sean Connery at sea. And I'm trying to remember the ends of the others. Well, no, oh no, because that was George Lazenby, wasn't it? Anyway, that's the end. That's the end. James Bond will be back. What does it say? Thunderball. So they changed that. Originally, they were going to say it said on the Majesty's Secret Service that they couldn't get rights to some of the locations for that. The Swiss locations. I'm guessing, the place at the top of the mountain and all that. So they went with Thunderball instead, which would cause its own problems, wouldn't it? Down the line. But anyway, so there we go. So that's the Goldfinger. Apologies for the microphone crapping out halfway through. But we'll see how we go. I hope the first half is recorded. If you're listening to this, I'm sure it has. But anyway. Right, so there we go. We'll listen to Shirley Bassey hitting that note, and we will leave it there. So, thanks for listening. Wherever you are, look after each other, and until next time, I'll say the... Yorkshire, with stories to unfold.